here with Vincent Goodwill. We're going viral. A few weeks ago, Michael Jordan made headlines saying Steph Curry is not a Hall of Famer.
Hey.
In this recently released video, Steph had a chance to reply.
Get him, Steph.
Dude, we had E40 on our show. He said that, he wears your sneakers. How do you get rappers and entertainers to wear your shoes? You ever send shoes to any of your haters, sign them, and there you go?
Not yet. I might have to set up a little service like that, though.
All right.
Might have to send them to MJ.
Woo! Jordan said some things recently, saying that you weren't a quote-unquote like a Hall of Famer yet. But he said you're on your way, but you're not there yet. What did you think about when you heard that?
That's the funny thing. That's like you always have an initial reaction to it. It's like, yo, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
But then I'm never complacent, so it's always like I know I got more to prove to myself. But when you hear a guy like that, who's the greatest of all time,
You're both from North Carolina, though, too.
I know, and he's representing Charlotte now. It's kind of funny I think since we've been on the stage, we've heard a lot of retired guys kind of chiming in on this generation of basketball player and kind of evaluating talent and saying their generation was better and all that. It's a great conversation for the fans to kind of get in on.
Good job, Steph.
Handled it well.
But he got a little back at him. Listen, man, Jordan on this stuff, first of all, Jordan has proven he is not a great evaluator of other people's basketball talent.
Wow, you took it there.
As evident what's happened in his own backyard there.
And second of all, if Steph Curry never plays another game, he is a first ballot, no doubt, not only Hall of Famer, one of the 30 greatest players in the history of basketball, and you could argue higher. Like, I'm saying 30 just so people don't argue with me, but you could, if you put him in the top 20, you can make a case for that. And Jordan should know that. I would hope he knows that.
He's the pettiest human being on the face of the earth. Yeah. You have to respect that Michael Jordan is consistently Petty Pendergrass, Petty LaBelle. So any player who's not from North Carolina or didn't play in the 90s when he dominated everybody, I'm sure he'll put Karl Malone in the Hall of Fame because he kicked his ass all over.
Well, listen, man, MJ is saying that if you're a Hall of Famer, then that will be him acknowledging that you're somewhat on his level, and we saw that he's resistant to doing that with any of the modern players in today's NBA. But the way that Steph Curry has revolutionized the game with shooting the threes and the volume of shooting threes and analytics and all of that stuff, proving you could win a championship that way, like Michael Jordan has got to relax just a little bit.
But credit to Jordan, unquestioned one of the 3 greatest players of all time.
Stop it. Here you go with that stuff, man. Come on.
But you don't think he's one of the 3 greatest?
He's the GOAT. He's at the top.
Well, I mean,
he's at the top.
And Kareem, the more I dig into the numbers, Kareem's got a case for number 2.
I never said Kareem didn't have a case for 2.
Number 2.
Speaking of players that play on teams,
LeBron up there.
Some might consider the GOAT to be a part of. When the Lakers traded for 6-time All-Star Anthony Davis to play alongside LeBron James, the sky was seemingly the limit. But with AD injuring his shoulder in just his 3rd game as a Laker, expectations had to be reevaluated. And though the brow said his shoulder has gotten much better, he also said there's, quote, never a play that I don't feel it. So, Vince, could Davis's health keep the Lakers from winning a title?
Absolutely it can. Because LeBron James is not at the stage anymore of his career where, in Nick's words, if Kawhi Leonard didn't carry a team to a title last year, we damn sure know LeBron James at year 17 can't carry a team to a championship anymore. So, with that being said, Nick, and you look so confused. Are you okay?
No. I mean, the evidence would say you're wrong, but that's fine. I'll let you finish your point.
You look quite perplexed.
Yeah, because what you said didn't make any sense. But go ahead. I'll let you finish your point.
Kawhi Leonard did not carry the Raptors to a title last year.
Yeah, because they had such a great roster, he didn't have to. Okay. Because they were a 59-win team the year before.
But that's not the position the Lakers are in right now.
Correct.
Exactly.
Right.
The Lakers are not in a position where LeBron James can carry them to a championship. Anthony Davis has to be a co-star, if not equal participant with LeBron as far as on the equity of how far this thing is going to go. That's no shade to LeBron. That's year 17 of wear and tear on his body. So Anthony Davis, being the player that he is, being defensively a player who can challenge LeBron to say, hey, you're going to have to step it up on defense because I'm stepping it up on defense. You're talking about the number 1 and 2 defensive players in the league as far as block shots per game, Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard. So, yeah, I think he's critically important to what the Lakers do because there's no one else that can pick up that slack in the meantime. And with LeBron playing point, that takes so much out of him, Nick, that I don't think that's a good long-term position for him. They're going to have to lessen the usage so that they can stretch this thing out. Anthony Davis's health or notwithstanding.
the reason I look perplexed is because I can't
It's
imagine.
a consistent look.
I can't imagine anyone would disagree with the word you said, aside from the Kawhi stuff, which is irrelevant and didn't make sense. But aside from that, of course you have to have a fully functional Anthony Davis for this team to win a title. Like, that's the whole plan was LeBron comes to LA in year 1, sees what's there, gets Luke Walton the hell out of here. He's doing a great job in Sacramento, by the way. And then you bring in your co-star. And that the co-star is this super freak is all the better. Now, maybe it is because of the shoulder. But I will also say this. Anthony Davis not only has to be healthy, he's got to be better than he's been these opening 10 games of the year, 9 games of the year. The Lakers, with LeBron and Anthony Davis on the court together, are outscoring their opponents something absurd, like 16 points per 100 possessions. With LeBron on there without Anthony Davis, they're outscoring their opponents, I think it's like 3.5 points. With Anthony Davis on there and not LeBron, they're getting outscored by a half dozen. Like, Anthony Davis is going to play a lot of minutes this year. The end of the first quarter, the end of the third quarter, and other times, other moments with LeBron on the bench, and he needs to be able to carry the Lakers in those spots. I think he can. I think health has a part to do with it, and I think he's right now not totally comfortable in his role and his situation. He obviously is playing his best minutes at the 5, but he hates it. He's taking a lot of, even by his standards, more long jump shots than you would like. I think one of the reasons he's not getting down on the block is because of the shoulder. But if he's hurt, then they need to give him some time off at some point, because I agree with you 1,000% that in 2019, given the depth of the West, what LeBron did in 2017 with the Cavs, which is carry a team to the NBA Finals, that does not exist in the Western Conference. You have to have a co-star alongside him, and so that co-star has to be Anthony Davis. Kuzma will be better than he's been thus far, but it's not him. Danny Green is great in his role. Dwight's been great in his. The only other star in this team is Anthony Davis. He's got to be healthy for them to have any shot. I agree 1,000%.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Anthony Davis has to be healthy. Now, I'm not going to be dismissive of Kuzma, because I do think he has to be that third wheel in this equation. But, I mean, yeah, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to have to take turns being the star, especially on the offensive side of that court for this team, because you don't really have any other guys that can create on that end of the court. Now, as far as what they're doing defensively, the numbers don't lie, Nick. They are a much better defensive team when they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the court, as opposed to when they don't have AD available. So I think you have to look at this situation as Frank Vogel weighing the importance of the regular season, especially being in the Western Conference, versus the importance of having a healthy AD once we get to May and we're talking about playoff basketball. I think the fact that he's being vocal about that, he verbalized that, that's a step in the right direction. But, yeah, I don't feel good about a big man dealing with shoulder injuries this early in the season. So you have to watch this closely, because at some point you have to face the reality that you have a LeBron James in year 17, and at some point you're going to have to spell him during the course of the regular season. That's when you need Anthony Davis to step up, but it's going to be hard for AD to be able to do that if he's compromised health-wise.
And no one wants to start talking about load managing Anthony Davis, at least at this point moving forward.
Why not?
If he's hurt, if he's hurt, it's not load managing. If he's hurt, if he has a shoulder injury and needs a week off, that's something that's happened the entirety of NBA history. Having scheduled days off to deal with a potential injury that may arise, that's where we get betwixt and between on load managing and injury managing.
But if it isn't Anthony Davis, what would keep this team from winning the title this year?
Well, I think when you look at the rest of the roster, when you look at the Avery Bradleys, the Rajon Rondos, the Kuzmas, all these other guys who have to fulfill specific roles on this team, Danny Green's to make shots or to play perimeter defense, to do all these things. LeBron has a great talent of making role players better than what they are. But he also has a great talent of making great players role players. So he has to find that balance, because so much runs through him. Nick brought up the net rating, and I don't think that's a fault of Anthony Davis. That's a fault of, with LeBron being the orbit, everything revolves around him. Everything is geared towards your team being best because LeBron is at his best. So when he's off of the floor, other people don't know how to exist. Even stars like Anthony Davis, because they're used to playing subservient roles.
And to your point, it's always been big guys that have had trouble adapting to a LeBron James type of offense, because LeBron doesn't want bigs in the paint. Exactly. If you look at it, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, those guys have all...
He needs space.
Those guys have all, you know, from a production standpoint, took a step back on LeBron James-led teams. But, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt in LeBron's mind. He needs Anthony Davis, and in order to get the most out of him, he's going to have to adjust his game a little bit as well.